hard time with this argument. Now I'm pissed off.
No,
they're at risk.
First off, sip your wine. Take a,
Okay.
Moment,
You can persuade me. So, hey, I just want to welcome Kyle Trocha to Burning Ambitions. We're calling this segment Trocha Time. No one knows more about sports than my man, Kyle.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So, Kyle, I want you to tell me about where we stand with Major League Baseball. What's going on? Are we ever going to see a real game?
Hey, that's the million-dollar question, right? Everybody wants baseball, right? The owners know that, and so they floated a proposal out there saying, we're ready to play baseball, and the players should accept this. The players looked at it, and they didn't. They're taking a huge risk, right? With everything going on with COVID, they wanted prorated salaries to be paid what they were owed. From the owner's standpoint, Tom Ricketts came out and said, 70% of what they make is with the fans in the stands, and most likely we're looking at a season without fans in the stands. So it's really hard to recoup. From their standpoint, they're saying it's really hard to recoup that money and pay the players what they're owed without, putting themselves severely in the red. So it's all financial back and forth right now. The players have this week just proposed a 114 game season.
And what's
where
the
they
normal
get their full
season?
prorated.
What's the normal length of a season?
162. And So the players are saying, let's play, a decent amount of the season, but we want our salaries prorated for the 114 games. I just don't see a way that we have fans in the stands for this season. And so the owners are pushing back and saying, well, since there's not going to be fans in the stands, there should probably be a different level of pay that you get. The players pushed out a 114-game season proposal with prorated salaries. The rumor is that the owners are coming back with 50 to 60 game proposal. If I was guessing, I would assume we're going to meet somewhere in the middle at like around 81 games, play half a season.
Is anybody doing spring training or what's going on? How are they training?
They've opened up some team facilities, but nothing super in-depth is happening right now. That's the main thing is if they're going to start in July, then they need to get moving. So from the strike in 94 and they didn't even have a season that year. And if they do something like that again, where they're struggling right now to get young fans, and if they forego another season, especially in a time like right now when people are desperate to watch any sport, it's going to cause irreparable damage, I think. So they know they need to play, and so there will be baseball. It's just a matter of how many games.
Who is being greedy and who is being realistic? What's your thoughts?
So everybody's going to say both sides, right? Because you have millionaire players asking for more money or asking for what they're owed in a tough time. So the average person is going to say, hey, you're already making millions. Who cares if you make a few million less? And the owners, everybody says you're billionaires. And you and I were talking about this the other day. While they are billionaires in net worth, they may not be liquid in that money. In terms of paying the players, this is where they're kind of putting their foot in the ground and saying, hey, how can we pay you? Because our franchise is worth billions, but we aren't liquid in that amount. So it's a really interesting thing to say who is the greedy one. I just think everybody's trying to get the most they can from the situation and make sure that everything's taken care of, make sure their families are taken care of. The players are assuming the risk, right?
How so?
There's going to be, with COVID and with going to the stadiums, being around more people, coming out of quarantine to play, they're assuming the risk. That's the hill that they're, standing on and saying, hey,
sure, the players let me just understand this. We got people going to Walmart to work and Target to work, and the players are actually saying they're working outside, playing first base. I'm just saying.
I get it.
I'm having a hard time with this argument. Now I'm pissed off.
No,
they're at risk.
First off, sip your wine.
Okay. You can persuade me.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Baseball players are entertainers, right? We don't have concerts going on. We don't have, entertainers aren't necessarily out entertaining right now. They're respecting the shelter in places and they're not having concerts. I understand what you're saying, and that's going to be the response from, a good amount of people is, I don't care. Just go out and entertain me, right? You get paid millions to do it, assume the risk. And the players are fine doing that, but they have families and they have kids and they have parents and they have, there's a lot of roots that spread out from this. And I think that's where therein lies the issue. Is it comes down to family. It comes down to, do I have to quarantine from my family for 14 days every time I play a game? Do I have, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and there's not a lot that is known about this whole situation yet. I mean, it feels like it was years ago that this started, but it was only a few months ago. That's the biggest thing.
Now let me ask this question. So are you saying that if they got paid the full amount, they'd go back tomorrow to play 100 games?
Sure.
So
sure.
doesn't that just kind of negate their entire health argument by the fact that they would go play if they got paid their full pay?
No, because why would I go back and risk my family's welfare for less than I was agreed to, right? I agreed to, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, Bryce Harper agreed to around a $400 million contract. Let's say he's getting paid $30 million a year. If I have a prorated salary that would equate to over 114 games of, the $30 million a year number, why would I go back for less than that? That's a contract that I signed. You agreed to it. Yes, this is an unforeseen circumstance, but why would I take a larger risk than I've taken and take less money for it? It's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. And that's why this is so ugly, because there's the fear aspect, there's the financial aspect, there's the emotional aspect of yes, we all want to play baseball. We all want to be back. This is our job. This is our love. This is what we've played since we were kids. This is what we do. At the end of the day, money wins, right? And if you can secure what you were owed for the season, sure, you'd probably be more likely to take a risk than being told that you need to, take significantly millions less. But I'm just playing devil's advocate because, of course, I want baseball back. It's kind of interesting to hear both points.
Well, I just have a hard time. I mean, 40 million people are unemployed. Businesses have gone out of business. People have lost their entire life savings. It's unfair to everybody. What's the lowest paid baseball person out there? What's the lowest salary?
Minor leaguers or pro? Because minor leaguers,
minor leaguers, I got some sympathy for. So you're playing pro ball. What's the minimum salary out there?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Is it $600,000, $1 million? I mean, what do you? I mean,
let's just say 500, somewhere around there. It's probably less than that. But and then on top of this all, you have pro clubs like the Cubs who are either releasing or not paying their minor leaguers anymore. At the end of May, a lot of teams were saying, you know what, we can't afford to pay you guys anymore. And so it's getting ugly, right? Sports is a great equalizer, right? That's the pure thing about sports is it is a distraction from all of the. It's been a hard year. Let's not mince hairs here. I mean, it's been a tough year. I mean, with COVID, and anytime you want to have a beer and talk sports, you know who to call.
Kyle, I just want to thank you for visiting. This is Jim with Burning Ambitions with Trocha Time. Make it happen.